What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to another Patch Notes update review. And today we have 11.10 Demon Scourge. And God, we're on the double digits in the decimals place, the tens and the ones in the tens place. My God, I feel like we just started season 11, but at the same time, it's been a very long season as well. I feel like in both regards. But yeah, this is uploaded 13 hours ago. I do believe this will probably go live Tuesday, although it is a little bit weird. This is on a Friday that they're doing this, or that they uploaded this, or that they did the show or whatever. So I'm not entirely sure when exactly it'll go live, but generally speaking, historically, it was always Tuesday. Maybe it'll be pushed back or pushed forward a little bit more. But yes, 11.10. Some notable things, that being in terms of things that need to be buffed or nerfed. Generally speaking, nerfed, because things that are busted are usually need to be toned down and more obvious. Things like what is that item called? I can't think of it. Curse Weaver. Curse Weaver needs to be fucking toned down, obviously. It did last patch, but it literally did absolutely nothing at all. I feel like Guardians in general, in terms of joust, need to be fucking... They just need to be waxed in terms of, you know, nerfed. They just need to be heavily nerfed, because they're fucking broken. I haven't really been playing a lot of Conquest. I know a few things about what's happening in the meta there, but, you know, not terribly so. So, we'll see how much Kairos cares about the other game modes that is in Conquest, or even Smite in general. I feel like they kind of been taking Smite in the back seat, or putting Smite in the back seat for obvious reasons, and for obvious reasons. Did I just say that twice? For obvious reasons and for obvious reasons. Nice. Okay, but let's go ahead and get into this. Obviously, the URL will be in the description down below if you'd like to take a look at it yourself. Actually, I don't even remember what the fuck I said. I just be saying things, huh? Yes. Well, hold on. We gotta look at these skins. Yeah, Hades, Odin, Wheelix, Merlin. Okay. Curse Weaver time, baby. All right, finally getting some nerfs. This is the only fucking nerf, which actually, now that I think about it, I just said it. That's the only thing I can really think of. Curse Weaver has been disgusting. So let's see, increased cooldown from 15 to 20. That's solid. And you're not gonna have that for 5 seconds. And then they also nerfed the internal cooldown from last patch, so it's gonna make it to where, or I'm sorry, is it? I can't remember if it's. I mean, I guess we could just take a look at it real quick. Okay, yeah, so I was right. It was the internal cooldown. So if it was 12, now it's 15. But in generally speaking, it's 8-second nerf from what it was a patch ago. So a patch and a half ago, I suppose. So that's pretty huge. You having that extra healing is fucking massive on Guardians specifically. Guardians almost always have a lot of fucking health, and mana pool's just there. So it just, I mean, it adds onto that extra damage and sustain that you have. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten kills off of just the Curse Weaver proc, or saved myself because of Curse Weaver proc, just giving you like 300 extra health. And on top of that, you have to buy anti-heal because of how much Curse Weaver fucking heals you. So an extra 8 seconds is fucking huge. It's almost doubling it. Decreased damage, thank you, from 7.5 your maximum health to 5%. And that actually works really well, specifically targeting Guardians or tanky like gods, because it's every item has fucking health on it if you're a tank. So you're just passively getting on the good items. Obviously, there's so many good items that give you health. Relic Dagger gives you like 300 fucking health. Gauntlet of Thieves, Shifters, any of the other fucking shields that you pull up. I believe Talisman of Energy. There's just so many things that give you health. On top of Curse Weaver giving you health anyways. It's like a bunch of fucking health. So reducing it or reverting it back down to 5% is huge. Note maximum mana damage will remain at 7.5. Okay, so yeah, that affects more of your tanks, because obviously you're not really building a lot of mana on Guardians. It's usually you're building a lot of health with a decent amount of MP5 just to constantly resupply your MP5 or your mana pool or whatever. So that definitely targets the Guardians a lot more, with it being an 8-second cooldown, longer cooldown, plus 2.5% reduced damage. You're kind of cutting the damage and the healing output by 25%, but in practice you're actually decreasing it by a lot more, especially for guardians, because guardians relied on that 7.5% of your maximum health a lot. So 2.5 extra percent is a lot more than what it seems, because like I said, guardians put a lot of health. So this is huge. We'll see how this shapes up the meta, or shifts the meta. I think this is going to be pretty big. I think people are going to still buy it, and then it'll slowly fade away into something that has more bang for your buck. There is an item that I do like seeing a lot. Not a lot of people have been building it. Is Sovereignty. It recently got buffed a hell of a lot. It's like super cheap. It got a lot more protections, and if you're going up against double fizz, it's like your first item you build anyways. We'll see how much Curse Weaver is gonna change the meta. I think it will. Most people are probably not gonna be buying it, and that's just because Mind Over Matter. I think this item's still gonna be pretty solid, just obviously a shell of its former self. So we'll see. Looking at some buffs now, we have the Crusher. This item hasn't been touched in so long. So let's see, increase attack speed by 5%, increase passive damage from 30% to 35% of your power, which is nice. I think they've been slowly buffing this, but it hasn't gotten one in a long time. I think they like gave it a little bit a while ago. Now they're giving it a little bit more. So maybe, I mean, this has always been an okay item. There's just other items that are better. I guess we'll have to see what other items get buffed here. All right, Sphinx's Baubles, decrease gold or cost from 2,800 to 2,600, extra, or minus 200 gold. You guys remember earlier in this season, Sphinx's Baubles was actually pretty fucking meta on a lot of your gods like some of your mages too, like Isis or Iset and Baron, some of your guardians as well, Kuzumbo. I'm trying to think, what other guardians took advantage of this? There were a lot of guardians, I'll say, that took advantage of this. I can't remember exactly. Mages took, I mean, I think at one point everybody was building it that had some type of cooldown build, like mages as well, but we'll see. 200 gold is pretty big. It's still 2,600, so relatively expensive, especially with how many items are good right now. Relic Dagger being one of your go-tos, and obviously your Mantle, Discord, Spirit Robe, plus your other items that you can build. So we'll see how this ships up anything. If I had to guess, this is probably going to be in a couple more builds, but probably it's not going to be a lot of play, but we shall see. 200 gold is a decent amount. High Anemian Lion, increase reflect damage from 12.5 to 15%. I literally think this is just a revert to what it was before, and what it was before was dog shit, so I don't think this is going to be impactful at all, if I'm recalling correctly. I think they need to increase the fuck out of the reflect damage, or just get rid of this item. There was a reason why they got rid of this fucking item, because they couldn't fucking balance it. It's either it was dog shit or the best item in the game. They're making it from super dog shit to just dog shit. So I don't know. I'm almost 100% sure this item's still not going to be picked up, but I guess we shall see. Crimson Claws getting a buff, decreased cost from 2,400 to 2,450. So it costs 50 gold less and increased physical power by 5. Okay, well, this item was your go-to anyways, with them nerfing Aussie and buffing the hell out of Crimson Claws before, so Crimson Claws is going to stay your first item on your hunters, your AA hunters. It's just better. That's pretty big. That just kind of sets the tone for the next patch in terms of all hunters with their lifesteal item. Gem of Isolation, increased magical power from 65 to 70. That's a pretty decent amount of power for what this does. Remember, this gives you, it slows them and takes away their shields. So an extra 5 power is nice, and decreased cost by 50, which is pretty nice too. I don't think this item's ever going to be a mainstay in your build. It's just going to be a niche like counter item, and I don't think this is going to do much to that, to the purpose of the item. Mantle of Discord, decreased cost by 50, decreased activation threshold from 30% to 40%. Okay, that's actually really nice. This item has always been fucking good. They've been buffing it and buffing it and buffing it. I remember it was like 2,900 at some point. Now it's like 26. And it does get off a little shockwave of CC immunity, and it stuns them. I believe it's a stun. It would, once you're at like 30% health, that's when it would shock you, or proc the shockwave around you. Now it's at 40%, so you can actually get that pretty quickly, actually. So if you're getting bodied, once you get to 40%, you'll get the shockwave, and you'll have a lot more health, which means you can turn fights / run away at quicker intervals. And now it's 50 gold cheaper. I mean, I've been picking up Mantle over Spirit Robe just because of, high CC teams in Joust, But now, I mean, like, I just don't feel like the mitigations that Spirit Robe gives you, it's obviously very fucking good. I don't think that item will ever be bad unless they change the fuck out of it. But they just keep making Mantle so much fucking better. My God. Increased passive duration from, or this is Phalanx, increased passive duration from 8 seconds to 10 seconds. So you're gonna have an extra 2 seconds on your extra protections when you get autoed. Tablet of Destinies, increased max stacks from 50 to 70. Okay. I'm assuming because they didn't add anything else to it in terms of the amount of stacks that you're getting. Remember, you get 0.1% of your max mana as true damage per stack. So you would get up to, that's, is that 5%? I believe that's 5%. You get 5% of your max mana transferred into magical damage, true magical damage. Now it's 70, so extra 20 stacks, so that should be 7%. So now you're getting, instead of 5%, 7%. I guess we can pull up a calculator real quick. So let's say you have like 3,100 mana, which isn't out of the realm of possibilities as a mage, at least. Nothing in Guardians. Would this be really good on Guardians now? But like breastplate and shit. But 3,100 times point set, no, oops, 0.07. Oh my God, it's over. So was that 217? So, and then we can go 3,100 times 0.05, 155. Okay, so 217 minus 1. Can we do this correctly? So an extra 62 damage per hit. So obviously really fucking good. The utility of this item though, I've got to imagine, at least in Joust's perspective, not very good at all. Like I like, it's cool that they're adding this. So if your game goes super late and you're building Tablet of Destinies on the very few select gods that are even good in Joust that can build Tablet, aka Merlin and Tiamat, that's about it. And those gods are kind of mid. Mages are kind of mid right now to begin with. It's just not going to be that important, I've got to imagine. Again, Joust games don't last that long, and then on top of that, mages suck. In Conquest, though, Conquest always goes late, so I'm pretty sure your mid laners are going to be eaten with this. Building first item Tablet of Destinies with that tier 2 that gives you stacks. Oh, baby. Got to imagine that's going to be really fucking good. So overall, I've got to imagine this is not going to be good for Joust, but very good for Conquest. Gods, on to gods already. Non-conquest balance. Okay. Nerfs, non-conquest. What is that? Non-conquest buffs. Are we buffing Serket? Oh no, we're nerfing Serket. Nerfs. Buffs. I think I'm reading this correctly. Remove the increased damage to gods. Ooh, is Serket not going to be in the top of the meta anymore? That's actually really fucking huge. Non-conquest balance was always like a weird thing because of how, because it on non-conquest mode means like every other single game mode. So you're talking about arena, joust, duel, assault, all those game modes, mode of the day. Actually, I don't know about mode of the day. I'm not entirely sure. But that's gonna be really big for Serket. Now we gotta see how much more damage that is, because again, Serket isn't just about the damage. It's more about the setup with your 2, the extreme fucking mobility that the god, and obviously crazy setups with the ult. So we'll have to see how it is, because removing increased damage doesn't really tell me much unless we go back whatever patch it was where they increased Serket's damage by however much. Ao Kuang removed the decreased damage taken. That's fine. Ao Kuang wasn't that crazy anyways, unless you're low elo. Camazotz removed the decreased ultimate cooldown. That kind of blows as a Camazotz player who's not really that great in the meta right now, but he wasn't doing great anyways, so that kind of sucks. He's not going to be very good either. Buffs though, Artemis is getting a buff, decreased ultimate cooldown penalty from 10% to 5%. Decreased ultimate cooldown penalty. I'm not entirely sure what that means, but instead of plus 10%, it's going to be plus 5%, which I'm assuming is good. Cooldown penalty. Maybe somebody can clarify that, but a buff to Artemis is fine. I think Artemis is a very sleeper hunter right now, but Serket and Artemis, we'll have to see about that. Buffs on the gods. Oh my god, Set's getting a big buff. Increased base health from 435, so you're getting an extra 15 health. That's pretty big. Spawn of Set, I mean, it's not the biggest thing, but it's solid. Spawn of Set, fixed the bug where Spawn of Set was not doing the correct amount of basic attack damage. Okay, it's fine. Decreased cooldown from 11 to, okay, they're doing this thing again, where you're changing it from just a flat overall to being reduced whenever you're, when you level it up. An extra 2 seconds. I mean, you're usually leveling up your 1 and 2 and your 2. At least that's what I do. You usually do 1, 2, 3. You just get more benefit out of upping the Spawn of Set, I feel like. That's pretty big though. An extra 2 seconds. So you really overall 4 seconds because you have 2 spawns a set, which is that's pretty nice. It's pretty fucking nice. Sandstorm increased tick rate from every 0.4 seconds to 0.3. Oh my god. Calculator time. So I believe this lasts for 6 seconds. Am I right on that? Let's see. Yeah, so it lasts 6 seconds. So normally you'd be doing 15 ticks of however much damage your 3 is doing. Now you're doing 20 ticks. So you're doing an extra 5 ticks. And it's going to be a higher DPS because instead of it ticking like tick, 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 it's going to be like tick, 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 tick. So it's going to be doing a lot more damage as well. At least initially DPS overall. Fixed a bug where Set was unintentionally getting an extra tick of damage. Okay, it's not really anything. Decreased damage per tick from 8 to 24 plus 7% scaling. 6 to 18. Okay, so they're kind of making it more balanced. Overall, I think the numbers will make it to where you do more damage, obviously, I believe. 8 plus 7, 6 plus 6. I mean, you're reducing it by a decent amount overall at the end. You're losing 6 extra power or damage. So, I mean, that's still, I do like this a lot because you're still gonna be doing a lot more damage overall, I feel like. And your set 2 is gonna be up, and an overall Set has been getting buffed after buff after buff. So, might have to put up Set on the tier list a little bit higher, and might have to start playing him more because he's fucking good. Okay, so Serket's getting a buff. I guess we're just canceling out the non-conquest mode. I mean, it kind of makes sense though. I get what they're trying to do. Serket's fucking broken in Joust, and so you're gonna try and nerf it by doing a non-conquest nerf. But also, Serket's not that great in Conquest, the premier mode. So if you want to up that, you're gonna have to just buff him. So I guess it makes sense. Let's see. Ambush. That's our 3. Increased damage scaling from 90% to 100%. So an extra 10% scaling. It's be doing more damage. Nice. That's her ult. Last breath. Decreased post fire roughly by 15%. So I'm assuming you're gonna be jumping off the back of somebody quicker and pushing them. It's post fire, so, or maybe I'm not entirely sure what that means, but if I'm reading that correctly and it's like just the animation and the quickness of the entire thing, that's pretty fucking good. It's gonna make her ults a lot more clean, more consistent, and it's gonna make you do or get in and out a lot easier. We'll have to see. This is a little bit weird. I think Serket's obviously still gonna be super fucking good. We're just gonna have to see how much that damage nerf affects her. But overall, again, remember, it's her CC and mobility that really gets her. Camazot's getting a buff. Interesting. I see. Essence Drinker now also grants physical ability lifesteal. Same with Vampire Bat. And then Bat Out of Hell increased multi-hit damage bonus from 10% to 15%. Okay, so when you hit somebody over and over again, you're going to be doing an extra 5% increased damage, which is really nice. That's actually really nice. But this actually makes it to where Soul Eater is, I mean, Soul Eater was solid on Camazotz, it just wasn't needed, I don't feel. But now that you're getting ability lifesteal, oh my god. Now you better be building anti-heal against this god, if you haven't already been. We're gonna have to try to test this out because he already heals so much. Now Soul Eater is gonna be fucking tech on him, I feel like. So we're gonna have to see about that. I'm actually super curious about that. That might put Camazotz a little bit higher. Although he recently, or this bot nerf right here, we'll have to see. I mean, he's doing more damage, but on a cooldown is a lot. It's been kind of botched. We'll have to see though. I do like that buff though. Yanis increased damage from 80 to 280. I'm sorry, 80 to 280 to 80 to 300. So an extra 20 damage. Oh my god. Threshold adjusted movement speed from 10 to 20% to 15% at all ranks. So that's actually technically a nerf. Increase max stacks. There we go. Got it. So you could get up to 40%. Now you can get up to 45% with 3 stacks in terms of movement speed, which is an extra 5%, which is fine. And then increase buff duration by 1 second, and then decrease cooldown by 1 second. I think these are all pretty okay. Nothing too crazy, I don't feel like. Yeah. Yeah, this is still the same, I feel like. I don't think this is going to do too much. Raw increased health per level from 71 to 75. So, what, 4 times 20? That's an extra 80 health, which is pretty solid. Increased damage scaling per tick from 20% to 25%. I mean, that's whatever. These are okay buffs. Nothing crazy, again. Cuckoo, increased damage from 85 to 265 to 90 to 290. Okay, we're damaging his negative cooldown 1. I feel like it was always a cycle. We buff Cuckoo, nerf, buff, nerf, buff, nerf. He's been getting some pretty solid buffs, so I think Cuckoo might be one of your better mages. Top 5, top 7 mages, in my opinion. Mages kind of suck right now, so we'll see. And then Whirlwind's getting increased damage from 8 to 40 to 8 to 44. So overall, later in the game, you're going to be doing more damage per tick. And same thing with Zephyr. As it scales up, the more you level it up. Pretty nice. That's pretty solid buff. Aphrodite, increased Aphrodite's damage scaling from 70 to 85. An extra 15% damage scaling, which is pretty big. If we're... At the same time, though... If you're playing a good Afro, or you're playing Afro in Joust at least, you're not really building her damage. You're usually building her as a support with like utility items like Chronos, for example, or other type of cooldown. So the damage scaling is fine, I guess. But this kind of makes it to where you want to build her more damagey, which I don't think is her best role after the revert in Season 10. Or root change, whatever, not revert, change. Note, soulmates damage scaling remains 70%. Okay, so when you kiss somebody, the extra damage that they do via your 2 is not going to have the extra 15%. It's only you whenever you get to close to someone. So that's an interesting clarification. Undying Love, new effect. Activating this ability resets the cooldown of Lovebirds. Ooh. Okay, so that'd be interesting. Using your 3, ulting, using your 3, you're going to get so much fucking healing. That's a very unique and interesting way to add something to Aphrodite. That actually might be really fucking tech. If you need to save yourself, for example, it's going to be that much more easy to save yourself, which makes me feel like building her more support is going to be better. Rather than, I don't, this here is whatever. You're going to be doing more damage overall, which is fine. Just in general, but I don't think it's going to be, an extra 15% scaling is not going to be good when, or not going to be crazy when you don't build damage, I feel like. This, however, that's pretty fucking sick, I've got to say. I have to see how that works, but that might be cringe. That might be cringe. Atlas, kinetic charge, decreased cooldown from 16 at all ranks to 16 to 14. You're leveling this up last anyways, so probably it's good overall. You're getting an extra 2 seconds less on it on your dash, which is pretty nice, but won't get that effect till later in the game, unless for some. Well, maybe you level up your 3 after your 2. I'm not entirely sure. You definitely level up your 1 and your ult. I think it's a toss up between your 2 and your 3, because I believe your 2 doesn't really give you much when you level it up versus your 3, which does. So honestly, actually, if you level this up second, which isn't bad actually, now I think about it. I don't play Atlas that much, but that might be really good. So I'll have to see about that. That's pretty good. Atlas is already a really solid S tier fucking Guardian. Always been really playing him because every other Guardian's better. Which is wild to say, because Atlas is so fucking good, man. Gamma Ray Burst, increase minimum focus radius from 10 to 20. Okay. If you guys don't know, Gamma Ray Burst reduces power. It's either power or damage. I think it's power and protections. And when it's focused in on that 10 unit radius, that was 10 units, now 20 units, you'd get an extra 3 stacks of prot reduction and damage reduction. I think damage reduction is 3% per stack, so you get an extra 9% damage reduction in there, and an extra 15% protection reduction in that focus. So you're actually doubling it, meaning you're actually going to get that extra 3 stacks of 15% and 9% reduction. A little bit easier, 100% easier based on 10% or based on 10 radius. So that's pretty fucking good as well. There we go. Buffing fucking Guardians. Yeah, thank you, Hi-Rez. Thank you. Buffing Aphrodite, who's a pseudo Guardian. Atlas, a Guardian. Oh, look, another fucking Guardian. Oh, another fucking Guardian. Thank you. Thank you so much. Sobek, Sickening Strike. Increased heal stacks from 3 to 4. Oh my god, now you're healing. Because when you use your 3, you heal for 3 times. 3 different things. 3 different things you hit. Now it's 4 different things you hit. So if you're getting 70 per hit, which is 210, now you're getting 280, for example. Nice, thanks. Decrease cooldown from 12 seconds at all ranks to 12 to 10, and you're usually leveling up your 3 first, so you're going to have that 10-second cooldown plus the already cooldown that you build on Sobek anyway, so it's probably going to be like 60, or I'm probably 6 to 7 second cooldown, which is just so amazing. Thank you, Hi-Rez. I feel like Sobek probably needed it overall. Lurking in the waters increased slow from 30 to 40 to 30 to 50. We're giving this bitch an extra 10% slow. Let's go. Which he probably needed, but it's a fucking Guardian. Thank you. Okay. Yeah. That's a pretty good nerf. I'm sorry, buff. Maui. General increase basic attack power from 38 to 40. Increase basic attack power per level from 1.6 to 1.8. So that's an extra 0.2, so an extra 2 overall per at max rank. 2 power. Increased base health from 495 to 500, so that's an extra 5. Increased health per level from 95 to 100. So you're getting an extra, what, 5 times 20, so you're an extra 100 health. My god. Right? 5 times 20. Yeah. No, wait. No, 5 times 20, an extra... Wait, am I dumb? I can't do math right now. So you're getting an extra 5 per level. 5, 10. Yeah, no, that is 100. I think that's 100. I'm not going to talk about it anymore, though. So I might be wrong. Increased physical protection per level from 3.2 to 3.4. So an extra 2 overall. So pretty okay. I mean, now he's gonna be getting buff after buff after buff, so he's always been in a solid spot, I feel like. Hachiman, a much needed buff, I feel like. He's been kind of waning in terms of like your top meta hunters, and other gods have been getting buffed, for example. And he's just been left behind. Eagle Eye added 5% increased damage scaling. This is his one. Increased damage scaling when hitting enemies from 55 units away for. That's actually a pretty cool unique little thing that he has there. So you're getting an extra increased damage scaling when you hit somebody from far away, so you're gonna be chunking. Imagine that with crit. We'll see how that works, but that's pretty nice. Jutsu increased damage per hit, that's his 3 from 40 to 160 to 50 to 170. You're not really doing that for the damage anyways. You either get away or maybe a stun. And then mounted archery increased slow duration from 1.5 seconds to 2 seconds, which is an extra, it's like a 70 or 25% increase. That's pretty nice. Pretty solid buffs. Nothing crazy, but just a little bit to get him up there to make him start doing his thing. He's still a solid hunter. There's just better hunters. Why are we buffing Hoi Yi again? I mean, I get it, but damn. He's not good in Conquest. I get it, but fuck. Increase physical protection per level from 2.8 to 3, so 0.2. That's an extra 2 overall physical protections, which is not really much. Sun Touch, new effect. Still, he's getting a buff. Sun Touch, that's his passive. New effect. When the passive activates, reduces Hoi Yi's cooldown by 2. They just want to make this fucking god have negative cooldown. Good thing that his passive is anti-crit, so I think he gets reduced damage whenever he gets crit. I think it's by 50% or something. I don't exactly remember. It's good for trading if they have crit, but outside of that, it's pretty meh. At least for Hoi Yi's sake. Now put that on a fucking tank or something. But no, so I mean, if you do get crit, then you get an extra 2 seconds just reduced. I don't know if there's like an internal cooldown, or maybe there is already. I don't know, but Jesus, let's buff him some more, I guess. Mark of the Golden Crow, decreased cooldown from 16 to 14. They just increase his damage, reduce his cooldown. He's just not doing good in Conquest. But in Joust and every other fucking game mode, he fucking flourishes. So let's relax. Let's fucking relax. I think Hoi Yi is probably your second best hunter in Joust right now. Heimdall, much needed increased vision duration from 4 seconds to 6 seconds, which is nice. You're going to be able to see them a little bit longer when you do look at them. And then on top of that, I believe you get more physical power scaling the more enemies that you see. So an extra 33% increase on that, which is nice. Through the realms, that's his ult, decrease cooldown from 90 seconds to 90 to 70. So you have 70-second cooldown, which is nice. I think Heimdall's in a really rough spot, just generally speaking. So that's pretty nice, giving him a lot more cooldown. They probably should have given this a few patches ago. See how that worked out, because Heimdall's obviously not in a great spot. Bellona increased health per level from 88 to 93. So what is that? An extra 5. So is that 100? Is that 100? 100 extra health overall. Decreased cooldown from 15 seconds to 14 seconds, which is fine. It's a pretty long cooldown. Anyways, you're not building cooldown on Bellona anyways, unless you're building Pridwin. Eagle's Rally increased shared protection from 15 to 35 to 20 to 60. Oh my fucking word. That's a big buff, actually. I mean, you don't really... I mean, it's like a side effect of using her ult, which is nice for your team. And it's especially good in Joust, I feel like. But generally speaking, you're using this to get in there, set up, do damage, stun, shit like that. This is just a buy effect, or a side effect of using her ult, which is a lot more impactful, clearly. Basically a 2 times increase in protections, which is nice. Jesus, that's a lot, actually. I don't know how impactful that would be, because like I said, it's a side effect, but an extra 60 protections? Sheesh. Tier. Decrease cooldown from 10 seconds to 9 seconds, and it's 3. You're building cooldown on this god anyway, so you're almost always going to be getting close to that 40%, I feel like. So you're going to be, what, like a 6-second cooldown? Nice. Lawbringer guard stun duration increased from 1 second to 1.5 seconds, and then slow increased from 25% to 30%, which is... They're all buffing the good stats. Anytime there's a slight increase in stun, or slow, or cooldown, that's generally speaking probably a solid buff. I just hate fucking Tier, so I have a bias, but I'm pretty sure he needed it. Osiris? A little bit of tidbit of information. Probably people know. This is Geb's son, which is interesting. Anyways, Fragmented. And this is passive attack speed increase from 20% to 30%, which is, Jesus, an extra 10%, which is obviously nice. Damage increase from 70 to 270 to 80 to 80, an extra 10 damage overall. Remember, this it doesn't seem like a lot, but remember, he always throws out his one all the fucking time. So that extra 10 damage is going to stack up pretty quickly. And his ult, people don't know, it actually is a root. But because it's so fucking short, it doesn't feel like it sometimes. But root duration increased from 0.4 to 0.8, which is, that's pretty nice. You're doubling it. So it's almost a 1 second root. Osiris has always been good. Hasn't been as broken as he once was, but still a very solid god to pick. All right, on to nerfs. Holy shit. Arachne, web, decreased brutaling damage scaling from 30% to 20%. If you guys haven't been aware, the brutaling damage from Arachne has been wild. Even people building specific items like tank stats, like physical prots, they've been getting fucking shredded. Now, how do you feel? Now think about how you feel as a fucking damage dealer. My God, I remember I played... No, that was Newall. Newall's clay minions fucking smack too. But I was playing... I remember I was playing some god. Maybe it was Marty. And I got half hit by the fucking broodlings because I was like, oh, they'll just die or whatever. I'm like, no. They do fuck tons of damage. They like half hit me, man. Shit's wild. So that much needed. My God. Alp Watch, Fleeting Breath, decreased additional damage scaling from 50% to 40. I'm gonna be honest, Alp Watch I haven't seen much of, maybe because I don't play Conquest that much anymore, but Empty the Crypts, decreased damage reduction per stack from 5% to 3%. So now instead of 15 overall, now it's 9 overall, which is still a big buff compared to what it was before, which was 0. Decreased damage scaling from 20% to 15%. Okay, so I'm not entirely sure if we needed a nerf Alpwash, but okay. Why are we nerfing Scotty? When in the fuck has Scotty been good? Except like 6 years ago. Rune of the Hunt. Decreased dash damage from 70 to 130 to 70 to 110 basic attack damage. We don't need to be nerfing Scotty. I'm just gonna put it there. Why are we nerfing Kefri? Okay, am I just not attuned to fucking conquest or something? Or why the fuck are we decreasing damage per tick from 10 to 26 to 8 to 24? Kefri fucking blows. He's not known for damage. So I guess it's not that impactful, but why are we nerfing him anyways? These nerfs are fucking stupid. I'm gonna be honest. Maybe I'm completely wrong. And if anyone who plays Conquest in Smite 1, aka no one, let me know, because like Jesus, I think these nerfs suck. Except for their Arachne and maybe Upwash. These fucking suck, I feel like. Is that it? That is it. Nice. Pretty easy. I guess we can go back through the list from top or bottom to top to see overall just the general how I feel about it. Osiris, pretty solid nerf. Nerf buff, pretty solid buff. Extra damage, attack speed, and increase 100% increase in root. Tyr is pretty okay, nothing crazy, but I mean, again, slow, stun, and decreased cooldown is always going to be good. Bologna, nothing too crazy except this. This is going to be interesting to see how it is, but at the end of the day, I don't think it's too impactful anyways. Heimdall is okay, nothing crazy though. Hou Yi, we don't need to be buffing Hou Yi, so that's obviously fucking good that he's getting buffed, because he's, in terms of him being better, he's a lot better. Solid nerf, buff, I keep saying nerf. Solid buff for Hachiman. Nothing too crazy. I don't think it puts him up a tier, or maybe if it does, it's like half a tier, as there's still like all the other better hunters like X-Ball, Marty, Charybdis, Hou Yi. Maui, fine, nothing crazy. He's still gonna be in the same spot. Sobek, pretty good, pretty solid buff. History is gonna be very interesting to look at, and his ult just being that much slower, an extra 10% slow. Atlas, pretty solid buff too. We keep buffing Guardians, thanks. Aphrodite, nothing. This one's kind of mid to me. This one here though, I feel like it's gonna be really fucking interesting, because that might be fucking broken in terms of, you know, saving someone. Cuckoo, pretty solid buff here, slowly but surely being top of the meta again. Raw, nothing, whatever, and same with Yanis. These buffs were mid. This should be an interesting buff just because of the Soul Eater, just because your ability is now stacking with Soul Eater. It might just be fucking crazy. Serket's gonna be interesting because remember, she got nerfed in terms of non-conquest, but also buffed in terms of just generally speaking. So I wonder how that's going to change much. If I had to guess, it's probably not going to change much of anything at all. I just got to see how much the damage reduction on non-conquest modes really affect her. Set is a really good buff for him, especially seeing as he's been getting buff after buff after buff. So I'm thinking Set's probably a tier up, and it's going to be in, or I'm going to be using him a lot more because he's super good right now. After these buffs, I mean. Alquan got a nerf. Camel's got a nerf again. Remember, same thing with Serket. We'll have to see how this is. But if I got to imagine, the decreased ultimate cooldown versus the buffs that he's been getting, they got this patch. I'm pretty sure the buffs are going to override this. Now, the increased damage being removed is a lot more important, I feel like. So we'll have to see. Tablets, better for Conquest, not really much for Joust, unless you're super late game. Phalanx is pretty okay, nothing crazy. Mantle, I feel like you're almost always buying this over Spirit Robe now, even before, but even more of a incentive. Gem of ISO, nothing crazy. You're still only going to buy this in niche scenarios. Crimson Claws is going to be defining this next meta for all hunters. It was before, but now it's even better. Hydonemian Lion sucks dicks. Sphinx's Bobble is going to be interesting. I'm curious to see how the minus 200 gold is, but overall I think it's just going to be showing up a little bit more, nothing too much. Crusher is okay. I don't think there's just better items, I feel like, but maybe we'll see. And then Curse Reaver is going to be very interesting as well. I foresee, like I said before, that people are going to be picking this up a lot less. People are still going to be picking this up for a little bit, but I think it's going to wane some. And then that's when we're really going to see how much of an impact this nerf has been. Again, this really just targets your tanks, which has been the most broken part of Curse Reaver, has been your Guardians. And that's 11.10, boys. So overall, I think it was a solid patch. These patches are nothing really news happening when you compare it to other seasons that have a lot more things to it. That's just because of Smite 2. So overall, these patches are kind of always going to be kind of bland, I feel like. But overall, I think it was an okay patch notes. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section down below. Again, we have Discord in the description down below if you want to contact me, join the community. Great community. Have memberships open for $2.99 a month. If you do enjoy my content, then one of the best ways to one of the best ways to help me. I can't think right now. My God. But yeah, memberships are open $2.99 a month. Fuck. But obviously you don't need to, as you simply watching my videos are good enough for me. If you enjoy my content, enjoy this video, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. But I think that is everything that I have for you. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching.